Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Good evening. Hello, everybody. Danley and Jill and whoever's lurking and hasn't shown them yet. Sorry, no Jerry tonight. Jerry had to take care of some family business. So I'll just go throw my shoes off because I'm still a bit hot. You have to take part with me. Hello, Mr. Lazagram. Today it's especially annoying that Jerry isn't here because I wanted to poke a little fun of him because I actually have now in my possession the new limited edition thingamajig from Multi-Waldman Moonstone. Well, not really. I've got the paperboard printout, but I have it. And I didn't need to pre-order. Oh, well. Best plans fail. I hope you lot are experiencing the same as I am, and that is temperatures finally going back down to manageable levels. More precisely, today when I went off to work, we were in almost single-digit territory. So Ah, that felt good. Yeah, I was going to go up at the weekend, funnily enough. But for now, I'm happy with what Weatherman is predicting for today and tomorrow. So, cheers. Yeah, it doesn't seem to stop anytime soon with all the heat. And probably then we will have torrential rain, so everything will be flooded. And then we will have one of the warmest winters ever recorded. Because reasons! Ah. Well, some of you might have noticed the topic for today. I'm not sure how that shows up on Twitch itself. In theory, it should read the Hobby Hangout number 315, 40k second edition, and that is for a reason. Because, as Jill know, and some of you else know, I'm part of, or I'm using the Mastodon social media sites to get my hobby fix, where other people go to Instagram or Facebook or X or Blue Sky. I'm using that. And on Mastodon, there's a lovely lad named Dr. Spork. And I'm guessing Jill already knows what's coming up next. Uh, he's doing fucking lovely terrain and games. And let me just show you what he's been up to. So let's go here. Yeah, Jill, I get why you had to clear drool. So this is his Mastodon profile, and would you just look at that gaming table? Would you look at it? Isn't that glorious? All those little tiny fighting men manning the walls, the cave, and from behind it's even better. But wait, I hear you cry. This is not 40k. I know, my friends, I know. Let me show you what he's doing on the 40k side. Look, purpley hive tyrants and all that lovely terrain. The colorful miniatures. So Eldar, not Eldari, Eldar. Tonk, lovely Tonk and purpley black and red. I just gaze at that. It's just marvelous. Now, here comes the thing where hello Wonky, where some people might now want to call me out on, because these terrains are 3D printed. But I'm still showing you them because he's designed them himself. And he's designed them with FDM printers in mind. And as you can see from this picture, there's barely any print lines to be seen whatsoever. So if you fancy yourself some very lovely 40k niche terrain for your 3D printing needs, he's got a page on my mini factory and Cults 3D. Just look at that. He basically took what 40k second edition had and recreated it in scale. Hello, Mr. Zoidmanhead. the bunker. The other bunker, we already saw those. Wait, there's... But wait, there's more. Elven Towers and City. So you can just browse through his pictures as you see fit, because, and that's the great thing about Mastodon, that's not a private link. That's open to the public. You can look at it at any time you feel free. Just look how well he's made these look, even though they are horrible 3D printed ones and zeros. So this is what I wanted to show you, to have some... If you remember all those 80s and 90s terrain pieces and you never got around to build them yourselves, have at it. just go. It's amazeballs. I love it. Yeah, most of his files are not free, sadly, but I don't think anyone would argue that they're not worth the money because of the amount of time and effort he spent into creating these. Especially cleaning them up as nicely as he's done, making sure there's little to no supports needed to actually create the structures. He has some freebies on his pages that are more or less proof of concept, so you can just print them out. Let's go more Manufactory. That's a well-known site to most of you by now, I guess. So you can get modular hills for free. Okay, we don't need those. There's a where is it? Where is it? The retro sci-fi bunker we just looked at. This is for free. Just grab yourself one file, print it, paint it, and enjoy. It's just lovely stuff. So that's what I actually wanted to show all of you. And Jerry, since he's not here, I'm just showing you. I hope you enjoy. Links will be in the video description. I'm going to put his media account into chat, so if anybody wants to still lurk around and drool over their keyboard, go at you. Yeah, the paid stuff isn't very expensive. It's like 4 to 7 quid or something. So you buy 1 or 2 different models and you can just print out as many as you want, so go nuts. One of my favorites is the paper obelisk that came with one of the late 90s White Dwarfs. He recreated as a 3D printed thing with what you call it, runes carved into it, and that just looks absolutely stunning. And if I remember correctly, he also has recreated old school orc vehicles some time ago. Let me just scroll down quickly. Can I find them? So there's an old Mark I Land Raider. I think I saw him do a orc battle wagon at one point. Oh yeah, there it is. There's a orky battle wagon. The dwarf fortress is a 5. Yeah, see, so you'll be paying more for your filament, I guess, than for your actual what's it called? The file. It's just grand. So, what have you lot been up to? I, for my part, have done. Where is it? Where did I put it? went to town and grabbed myself the German-speaking copy of the Moonstone rulebook, so I need to actually get my act together and start reading up on that. And after that, or simultaneously, try building miniatures and do them justice by painting them properly, which is a bit scary. I hope it'll work out fine. Good evening, Manda. Nice of you to flop by. I've seen you reactivated your Pixel Fed account. Very nice. And yeah, that spammer has been taken care of. So, who has been doing hobby besides me in the most smallest degree possible? And have you supplied your application to the Bandai Namco Gundam? What's it called? Painting competition? Manda has applied. Did you find it as irritating as I did with all the jumping forth and back between various accounts? And have you thought of putting your postage address into your Bandai Namco ID account so that they have an address to send stuff to? Took me a while to figure that one out. So there's still 6 days to go. I'm not hoping that I'm guessing I won't be picked to be a on the receiving end of runners to enter the competition, but here's hoping. And depending on what model I'm getting, I already have some idea of what I'd like to do, but I'm not telling. No, not via Australia, via New Zealand. Or Bali. That's the usual way. Oh, speaking of shipping stuff cross country, yeah. Anybody heard the big moan and cry that went through the not just our hobby community, but many people making things and sending them across Europe with the new regulatory things about packaging and getting disposed of stuff? I'm not sure I really understand how that works. I tried reading up on the official materials and it gave me a headache. But from what I understand, many companies aren't even needed to register for all that because the actual manufacturing companies of uh, cardboard boxes, etc., so what you use to send stuff, are the ones needing to make sure that they get disposed of. But that's just a very rough interpretation of various sources I've found. So here's to yet another nail in the coffin of small companies being able to make a living of international commerce. Hurrah. There's a few companies that do not have that worry because some of them, I'm not sure, I think, who was it? Uh, One miniature maker from the UK is okay because they don't sell directly to German customers but go via the means of a German shop called Miniaturicum, and they themselves already are registered in this weird contraption that is waste disposal paper stuff thingamajig, whatever. I've seen that Oakbound is not sending out stuff to the EU for the foreseeable future. I'm guessing Heresy Andy is also very much going apeshit by now. Um, I'm fearing for many unfulfilled crowd funded campaigns that have been not yet delivered will go very wrong now. I don't know. Has anybody of you got any deeper info on that? Please say yes. I have zero idea on what is happening and why that's happening. My best guess is they wanted to make sure that all the cheap Asian suppliers like AliExpress, etc., are already circumventing that. Wonky, it's not the Germans. It's a European law requirement for making sure that your packaging is getting disposed of. Good evening, Mr. Toros. Hello. Cheers. I wish he would. I could use some new music made by Motorhead, but alas, it shan't be. Unless he's actually back, then that would be totally cool. And yeah, I guess as long as you're not into the producing or selling business, you do not need to burden yourself with European regulations about who gets disposed of what for whatever reason. Can we make commerce any more complicated? I guess not. Technically, possibly, yeah, but do you want to? See, now I know you're lying. You're talking about a German comedian being funny. You sure that's not just somebody pretending to be German? I mean, yeah, it is silly to a degree, but well, we must do what we must do. No, from what I understand, Manda, if you are producing packaging, you must make sure that if your product is used to send other products into a different country, that there's a company responsible and willing to take care of disposal of your packaging. But I don't know how that works. He recycled jokes? No, can't be. It's silly, and I'm a bit scared for some upcoming crowdfunding projects. Like Bequest is going to do a new Kickstarter for his lovely handmade miniatures with uh, shark marines and very nice looking goblins. Yeah, see, Werner, that's the point. You need to have someone who's actually willing to do that, and at that point, everything gets very silly. I'm not sure. Finally used for Brexit. Well, no, not really. Jill is saving her pennies for Burrows and Badgers and the SPRU. What is SPRU? I mean, the Burrows and Badgers thing is, if Ben's calculations are correct, isn't cheap. Sprue Convention. Oh yeah, I now yeah. My brain slow today. Let me just see if I could show you the lovely pictures of the Kickstarter preview. Hello, lovely pictures. So whoop. So these are the space sharks. Though to be fair, I almost thought they would be space ducks, but then again. But what I was looking after, and this is something Wonky might also like, space goblins. Don't they look lovely and weird and absolutely stonking? Well, since now the good man at Bequest is a German and making stuff in Germany, I'm guessing he's going to have some trouble getting stuff outside of Germany, but well, time will tell. I think Ben has the number of 114 pounds
Some viewers may find the following.
in the article over at on Templey Tops. So roughly the same, including inflation. Though we don't know how many miniatures are in there. Maybe there's even less miniature than last times, but the sculpts are just too lovely, and yeah, I can't. Just as much as the designs really scream paint me, I have zero use for them, so they are staying outside these walls. Not going close to any of them. That could be potentially very problematic. Maybe they will start using Siocast, which would be horrible, I guess. And I think Ben would be very, very depressed when such things should happen. No UK producer will be moving. Yeah. Resin or doing spin metal casting yourself like Oakbound does, but I think that's a very how do you describe that? That's a borderline case. Yeah, but resin is potentially easier to cast, or no, the other way around. As I understand it, most resin molds have a longer life than metal molds, so there's that. But I do not do casting, so that's taken to be taken with a grain of salt. It's a nightmare. Yeah, at that point, a Star Trek-like replicator 3D printer thing would be interesting, but we're still very far away from that. Oh, one sad thing happened today. Well, it's not really sad. It's just that I couldn't make it. We have a little Irish pub in the city center, and the Irish pub is, as of today, every Tuesday doing a miniature painting in house. So I could now be sitting in an Irish pub painting miniatures in the middle of the week. How awesome is that? I have no clue who initiated that. I've seen the advert for that and I just got wow. You might be correct there, Charles, with the 250 spins for metal molds. Uh, I do remember that there was something about how often you can use a mold in the Talking Miniatures book, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. Well, it would be Jerry's idea if it was a pub in his region of the world. But, do warlords still bury it up? I don't know. I do not have very many warlord things here, and most of them are plastic injection molding. Yeah, it does sound awesome, but sadly, it's Tuesdays, so it's either this or that. I need to make sure to ask my friends who are now there to see how it held up. And also, I know the location and I know the ventilation is iffy at best. So potentially it's boiling hot inside. Maybe in one of the few next days, I'm going to join there and take a peek. But they do start at I think 6 p.m. So 3 hours before streaming starts. So technically, I could go there and join the fun, but at the same time, that's the exact time frame where we're doing dinner in this house. So. Oh, Warlord does tanks and resin that are legendary for bad casting and uncured resin. Okay. Yeah. Uh, though to be fair, in the before mentioned Talking Miniatures books, there was also a paragraph about a automatic metal casting machine Games Workshop had, and if I remember correctly, when it worked great, but when it didn't, it just didn't work at all. And it was more work to keep that thing running than to actually do the own casting. So they went back to manual spin casting and just put the other machine in the corner. So every time I hear somebody talk about automated spin casting, my mind goes now back to that and I start grinning. I do feel I have seen a recent video somewhere somebody had started producing miniatures via the means of an autocasting. I can't remember where. Hmm. Well, using molds longer than the mold is actually having a life is obviously a bad choice. Uh, begs the question: do they only have that one mold? Have they lost the masters to create more molds? Who knows? I think I wouldn't want to do any of that work. I mean, Wonky, you'll be on the other side of that process sooner or later, so I'm looking forward. They can recast, but they also need some kind of master to create a new mold. And if there's no master left, how do they create a new mold? They then would need to use a second generation casting, and that would lead to losing details. So, it, either way we look at it, casting is a process that is degenerative in itself. Every other copy is getting worse and worse. It's just the way it is. I think Games Workshop simply has the advantage of having so much money to just eat up extra costs for redoing stuff. Yeah, but I know, Jill, you can go back and recast, sculpt things back and make it look pristine again, but that takes time and money, and I'm just guessing here that other companies besides Games Workshop either don't have the money nor are willing to make that. Well, if Warlock can manage, then maybe they don't care, or maybe it's part of their philosophy of being we're the independent small hobbies shop, and that's our what do you call it? Our style, for lack of a better term. I don't know. But that again, I do not have any of Warlord resin. I have some plastic sprues, but they're fine. But then again, metal molds do not degrade as badly as rubber molds for metals. See, Wonky, in theory, most of these things are quote unquote easy to make. But that doesn't mean somebody's willing to do it. Um, there's usually a reason why stuff is like it is. Most of the time, it boils down to money. Sometimes competence, but I do not know how these companies work. I've never been inside any of those, so your guess is as good as mine. I'm always assuming that most of the time these companies are under severe pressure financially and in a time scale wise to get shit out of the door. Not at and I think the main fault here is that Games Workshop is just putting out stuff on a speed basis that is insane. Yes, but paper is very very enduring. No, what's the word I'm looking for? Very patient. And a good accountant can not fudge, but make numbers look in a way. So, and I'm not saying that there in this industry aren't people who are quote unquote incompetent or unwilling to do better. Just hire font artists who can make the numbers look pretty. I'm not sure that's how that works, man, but I like your way of thinking. I mean, any of us have probably seen more than one video and read more than one article or blog entry or whatever about how to cast miniatures and what's the best practice is. But as many things are, people are lazy and usually do not care about best practice and just want to get shit done. So who knows? I don't. I just assume things, and in that way, making an ass out of you and me. And or how does that saying go? Can't remember. I wouldn't want to be in that field of producing miniatures. Uh, from the outside looking in, it feels like a minefield at times. Well, look at it this way: if you got carried away for your character building app, it's a finger exercise. It's something you learn things by, and it's fuck your hobby. Enjoy it. Just go nuts. You can always dial back. That's pretty much it, Amanda. And especially if you're at that point where you start cutting corners to get the same result or similar in a much quicker time, that's the point where maybe somebody introduces a new unknown variable, like a new caster who just fucks up a whole batch of miniatures. Exactly, Jill. People are voting with their wallets, as always. If it sells, they will do more. If it doesn't sell, they will not do more of it. So I wish my pennies would go further in the hobby industry, but I'm guessing I'm not even a blimp on many companies' radars. Miniature wise, I think most money that I personally spent on has gone into Star Wars Legion by now. That's probably by far the biggest chunk of change I've spent on miniatures, followed by X-wing, and at that point it starts getting fuzzy. Could be any of the other games I play, more or less. And looking at what people are willing to pay for some miniatures, it's just insane. Nobody washes mold release of resin. I would have thought that would be a thing. People seem to be happy about it. Yeah, Wonky. Let's let me phrase that for me personally that way. Hadn't I hadn't I not started listening to so many miniature makers when I got back into the hobby. Before I got any resin miniatures, I probably wouldn't have known that resin miniatures should be cleaned. Um, because it doesn't state on any of the packaging usually, as long as not that I remember. So when I started with miniatures, it was metals and plastic, and you just primed them and you were good to go. But when the first resin parts came across my desk, I already had drilled in my head by people like uh, Dr. Faust, Jerry, and who else I've listened to. Clean your resin, clean it thoroughly. Oh, companies should do it. Mm, you have a point there, but I think, huh? I guess for most resin models, that would make the models even way more expensive because they needed to add the amount of work they put in there to be paid to someone, so that cost gets passed on. Yeah, exactly, man. The miniature would be increasing in price. I don't think it would be double, but it would not be insignificant. And at that point, people could say, yeah, you could also assemble the miniature, like with BattleTech. You don't get buildable miniatures, you get one pose mini done. Would be a nice option if mold releases would be cleaned off before shipment, but I think other than if you're doing that on a large scale operation, so you can automate that process, I don't think that would be viable. But then again, it's just a wild guess on my part. Yeah, a dishwasher for miniatures, something like the you've seen in large restaurants where there's an automated cleaning street where you just put them the minis on one side and they could just go through and get cleaned off on the other side. But that would only work for certain size of models. The minute you use some very tiny, flimsy details, I think you're in for a world of hurt. No, I don't think that would be the same, Wonky. Reason being, a 3D resin print isn't fully cured without washing them from IPA and then having a curing after that. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, the resin that is used by ordinary companies is not a UV curing resin, but a two-part compound that fully cures on itself if mixed properly. So there's mm, that's a apples to pears comparison. But I get what you're saying. It's yeah, a product should be ready to use when it arrives at the customer. And looking at my shelf above me, there's the WizKids Transformers miniatures who did arrive cleaned and even primed. Yes, that's a thought experiment. Maybe we should go back and just have metal miniatures. That would solve so many problems. Though I do not want to know how much my Legion collection would be weighing if those miniatures were metals and not plastic. I think metal has almost zero waste if done properly because everything you shave off you can recast. So people could collect their metal shavings and clipped off pieces and just send them back for a cash in. Oh, I found it. That what I was looking for. Hold on. That was the paper model from the White Dwarf that I was talking about. Doesn't that look sexy as flock? I just love the work he's done in these, in his interpretations of old paper models. I'm getting distracted again. Sorry. What were we talking about? Ah, yes. Uh, Making miniatures is hard. Yeah, and metal. If it's not too oxidized as much, you can recast and recast. You only need to add a little more energy. So, what's new on this week on topics regarding hobby as well? Let me just recheck what good old Ben has been putting out on Tops as articles. That piques my interest. So, we have mentioned before, as Jill has talked about, Burrs and Badges getting a new Kickstarter, which is going to be a big one. New Chaos Warriors for the old world for Warhammer. Who cares? The Misfits now being a playable band in Necromunda. Yay! Some new 40k orcs, which is but I like the Grots. Yeah, Necrotales. Necrotales was a nice one. Have you taken a look at the Necrotales? They are really lovely. Let's see if I can plonk. The pre-cut shield thingamajigs from Vitrix, they are also very nice. Where's my Firefox? And then we go. Where is it? I think that's the one. Look. Yeah, I think he also said, yeah, I'm going to save up my money now until the end of the month for buying 140 pounds of miniatures. Land Raider? Oh yes, yeah, Dr. Spork also did a Land Raider. He's done a lot. Hello, Zoidpinhead. So, would you just look at these little nicely looking figures? They do have a very nice look and feel to them. I wouldn't know on what to use them for, but they look very cool. And Necrotail. Where do they... Does anybody know where they sit? Is that in an external company? Oh, United States, United Kingdom. Oh, so it's going to be pricey. A shame. 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 Um, I don't know that they sell for that much. I do know that... Oh, wrong button. He's not here. Lonk. That he has designed the Land Radar model himself. I think it's also available as a... Yep, it is this. Retro Evil Knight Heavy. So there's even a Chaos variant. It's oh god, I'm not used to doing this on the fly. Give me a sec. Going here. Going back to there. See. So he has done it in a 3D printed fashion. And it's $4.99. So if you want to have yourself a Chaos Land Raider, go have at it. And there's also the shampoo bottle thingamajig recreated. I just love what he has done. It's so silly and lovely, and I thought he had the Land Raider sitting here somewhere. Huh. Is I blind, or is he just... oh, there. Retro Space Knight Heavy APC. Oh, please open the page now. Thank you. Classic original. Oh, included 2 variants. Oh, that's nice. Oh, look, somebody painted it. Yeah, that's design language that speaks to me. So okay, I get what you say. I was thinking about Stargate, Jafar thingamajigs, though they would need a slightly different weapon. Maybe that would work for 70 recreating... Oh no, recreating the fake Stargate TV series from within Stargate, if anybody can remember that episode. Oh, I feel what you're saying, Wonky. Um, I know that somewhere I still have files for um, a papercraft version of a Land Raider and a Rhino transport. I tried building the Rhino, and I really did my best. For some reason, I can't work with paper. Paper just goes completely wrong on me. So I've scrapped that idea. Maybe I should revisit doing papercraft more. It's much more affordable than buying a 3D printer. Paper is a lot easier to store before using it to build anything. And if push comes to shove, you just burn it or put it into the recycling bin. Yeah, I think the one I have is based on the White Dwarf template, but it's a more complete, ready to build with all the extra latches already created in to just fold them over and have them glued properly. Papercraft is such an amazing stuff if you can do it, and I, for some reason, never could make it work, which is a shame. Papercraft models can look incredible, Jill. You are correct. What I can get to work is layering paper on top of each other to create three-dimensional structures, but for some odd reason, I never got the hang of having a flat piece of paper, folding in any direction and keeping its intended structure. It always warps on me, regardless of what paper I use, what glue I use, how I use uh, tools for temporary fixation so the glue can settle. It's just there must be some magic in there that I'm missing, but I'm way too impatient for doing stuff like that. Have I seen Crooked Staff terrain stuff? I'm part of his Patreon. I have. I'm watching his stuff regularly. He's amazeballs, and yeah, he's also on the Fediverse on Mastodon somewhere. Forgot his handle, but yes, Jill, I have seen Crooked Staff terrain. He's amazing, and extra shout out to him because he's giving away his very great looking terrain templates for free. It's just it's so much stuff in there. It's just lovely. Hello, Mr. Keybob. That's spinning on a pike and getting chopped to pieces. Have you gotten your Ewok kebab yet? Or are you still looking for somebody who's not afraid of you after uttering those wishes to be modeled? And have you maybe thought about just grabbing a box of Ewok warriors for Star Wars Legion and impaling them on a toothpick? Would be much easier than to have somebody sculpt Ewoks in a kebab. At least that's my opinion. The decals guy, he was a little spooked. Can you make me something very naughty? I mean, it's an unusual request. I'd say, from seeing what some people put out on there in the internet in regards to art and wishes what's to be created, I think that it's one of the more harmless things. Did you give them reference images? This is an Ewok. This is a kebab. Now kiss. Good night, Manda. Take care of yourself. Do not glue your fingers together. And keep uploading to PixelFed. Oh, freaked out by your username. Well, that's a silly sausage then. Who's afraid of usernames? That's a weird. Also, somebody tell James that he's answering on the wrong chat. Is he sitting in a pub again waiting for the bus? Since Ewok hasn't seen him before, you might want to go and look at some very. Which picture can I show you that will make the most impact? I'm going to use. Is this one? No. 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 Also no. That's a nice one. Prepare your anus. Look at that. No, not more stripper mice. I'm still crawling around in Dr. Spork's pictures and enjoying what looks like to be 40k epic? Question mark? A land train, some dwarves, and a castle. Stripper mice are something that I leave for Jerry to show off to the world. Hello, Mr. James Guts. Have you found the correct chat? Look at that. Look at that lovely terrain. It's so lovely. I could die. And the colors, good look at the colors. The purplies, the pinks, the greens. Bunker envy is high. Yeah. he's a grandmaster of weird terrain stuff. And it's just, yeah, I've seen this as a kid. Now I'm recreating these, and they're just awesome. Awesome sauce. Well, you have got to paint it that blue then. It's a STL file for your ones and zeros machine to print out. Like what he did here. Could you imagine Games Workshop employing someone like Dr. Spork and having made official 3D printable terrain? I think he did Adobe Huts. Let me check. Fantasy, retro fantasy, sci-fi landing pad. Yes, he does. I can voice your disappointment all you want. He's not here, he can't stop me. Look, even there's a... Open! Open! A greenskin Mac shop in Adobe Design. Yeah, I would love to have those as proper models as a kit cast as well, but I also know that will never happen. So it's just very nicely done stuff that he's creating. Oh, chaos! Chaos, shooty, bang, bang! Wonky, maybe you should contact Dr. Spork and do a collab with him. Or maybe he can recreate some terrain for you to use in your Spores game. Make some what's the word I'm looking for? Not exclusive, but made to your design needs. I'm not sure the Wonky is. You don't think you need custom. That's the one. Yeah, Jill. Thank you. Bespoke also works. And you don't need to be an influencer to do a collab. They are both creators, so that's creating. And look, rock nuts. That's how you can tell that he has good taste. He also uses good little miniatures. And I think this would be something that pleases the Jerry very much. Proper miniatures on proper tiny bases. Except that lunatic that's going all wee. He's having more fun with his miniatures than I am, and I'm very envious of. Yeah, I know, Jill, that fanatics have been a special thingamajig. Look at the smile on that one. All being so smiley. I know that you're trying to avoid Games Workshop references, but that's why I said you should maybe get him make use some stuff that is your own design enough to be legally distinct. Look, filthy racist elf towers and huts. Half of the show tonight is just staring at Mr. Spork's stuff, which sounds dirty, but at the same time is just so rewarding. At least for me. No, you don't spy, you actually see the Man of War. He is, I think, and I might misremember that. I think he's also somehow related to, what's his face? Oh, ex Games Workshop employee having a painting studio living in Japan now, but I can't remember the name of him. Look at that. How lovely is that? Hmm. And hills, some kind of. Just look at that. All the terrain. Filthy racist elves versus some chaosy guys. Not sure if Sam Pearson is the word name I was looking for, Jill. Let me quickly look if I can find and refresh my memory. Fucking hell. Just when I cleaned up my Discord links. Crown of Command. That's a lad. I'm not sure if they somehow are intertwined, but I wouldn't pass it. He did work for Games Workshop. At least in his YouTube channel, he's standing there with a red shirt on. So I'm guessing he has been at some point. Yeah, that's also a channel to watch. Oh, well, studio I wouldn't know because I don't think they have in the studio some kind of recognizable wear. I just know that he had worked in retail for some description. And see, he is related. There's some talks with him, some videos going with it interviewing with Dr. Spork. So my brain hasn't failed me completely yet, which is grand. That's a relief. I haven't, James. And I think Mel, the train tutor, hasn't worked for them. And at that point, the air's starting to get thin. Are they one of the proud to have worked on? Yeah. I mean, I once jokingly said to Jerry that the local Warhammer store is taking applications for new staffers, and he barged out the room and came back with his red shirt. Oh, that's what he designed. I have seen the video channel on how to design games, and I tried to watch one or two videos of his, and I'm not sure how how to feel about that. But then again, I'm on YouTube doing similar silly stuff, so I'm not throwing any stones. I'm not sure how it's working in other parts of the world, but our Warhammer store frequently posts on Facebook that they are closed due to sickness because nobody's there to work, and it just. What was the other guy called? Let's see. No, of course, without any references, I'm not finding him again, and it doesn't really matter, does it? Hmm. Dave Jeff Keith. I do not remember. Yeah, it's not putting up here. Well, still, I need to remember to put in the other channels we talked about, just for completeness sake. To have them later sitting there. I hate to be a party pooper, my friends, but the day has been very tiring. And I think we will cut it short at just a bit shy of tightly scripted 30 minutes. Designers have to leave Games Workshop before they do their best work. Oh, you have avoided Warhammer shops in Brussels and Bochum. Well done, you. See you next year in Hamburg, I hope. Yeah, as you might have noticed, my ass, I start itching like silly for whatever reason. You'll be over with Pandy, man. Looking forward to seeing you there. I'm really trying to make that work. I'm not sure how to get to Hamburg, either rent a car or go by train, because that's still reasonable, affordable for that distance. But yeah, I will let you know when plans go into uh, details. Well, that would be a very long turnaround, I guess. We will see. We can talk about that at the beginning of next year when things are getting uh, more concrete. Concrete? Stone? Setting in? I don't know. You know what you lot know what I mean, and I mean this is the end. Goodbye.